a continuation of a previous problem where we found that the total cost for towing a car was C of X, and the story is that they charged $3.50 for every mile, and X is the number of miles towed, and there was a flat reservation fee of $12. In fact, in the previous video, I think I even wrote dollars here, and I try to justify why we like to put the units on the output, because this is the output right here in the equation. So on the first part here, I don't need to actually use the equation per se, because they're telling me C of 20 equals 82. And in function notation, the name of the function goes here, that's C, the input goes in the parentheses, and my output goes over here. So they're basically saying is if the input, which in my problem is X, if the input X is equal to 20, then what happens is the output, which is cost, right, this whole thing is my output variable, and my output variable, you can think of this as being my output as well because it's equal to this, and if this is the output variable, then this is the output, and my output is in dollars, it's total cost. So my output, C of X, will be 82, and it would be $82. So here's my output variable is 82 when my input is X equals 20. So whenever you have to interpret the meaning of a statement and we give you units, you are to always not only include both numbers given in the problem, but include the units in the story. X equals 20 means if my car is towed 20 miles, and my output was total cost, and it was in dollars. So the 82 is the total cost in dollars. So the total cost is nothing more than $82. So if you took the time to replace X with 20 here, and you actually multiplied the 20 by 350 and added the 12, you would see that you get 82. It's just they did that work for me. So now in the next part, now that this part's done, they're not going to give me the output. We have to find it. So determine or find C of 8, and then write our answer as an ordered pair and interpret its meaning in a complete sentence. I'm going to copy down my total cost function. It's just I'm going to leave a blank where I see the input variable X because I intend to replace X with what it is. I'll put this in dollars. So what is my input? What is my X value? This time they're saying please replace X with 8. In fact, in general we call it C of X. I just took the liberty of writing blanks here. So if they want C of 8, they're basically saying you need to put an 8 here, replace X with 8, but as functions go, if you put 8 there, you have to put 8 here as well. And then you need to simplify that down. C of 8 would be equal to, let's see here, 3 times 8 would be $24, and then 50 cents, which you can think of as half of a dollar. A half of a dollar for 8 miles would be another 4. So that comes out to be $28, and then you have $28 plus 12 more. So you can do this on the calculator, but I can see that if it were $3 per mile times 8 miles, it'd be $24, but the 50 cents per mile times 8 miles gives another $4. So this is $28, and then you add on that flat reservation fee of 12, and you get 40 out of that. So I get that C of 8 equals 40. So remember that my input is number of miles driven, and my output, there it is, I forgot to copy it, is in dollars, and it represents the total cost of towing the car. Remember the directions said we're also to write our answer as an ordered pair. Since f of input equals output can be written as the ordered pair input comma output, C of 8 equals 40 can be written as the ordered pair 8 comma 40. You are to, in your answer, when you interpret, use both the number 8 and the 40 and write the unit. So the unit on the 8 was 8 miles. If my car is towed 8 miles, then the total cost is $40. The next part is very, very similar. In fact, I will start by writing down my equation again, but this time I'm not going to leave blanks in there because in this problem they're not giving me X. Notice they left the input variable X. This time, if you look at the problem, they are giving me the output here. So this is where you have to realize that X is the input variable, but C of X, this entire notation, is the output variable. So when I see C of X equals 100, I literally think of it as I'm making a substitution. Where I see the notation C of X, I will literally just put 100 there, and then that will leave me with a linear equation to solve. So to solve that linear equation, you would probably start by subtracting 12 on both sides. On the left-hand side, this would simplify out to be 88. And then over here, 12 minus 12 is 0, so I won't write the plus 0. Then you could argue, since the $3.50 is being multiplied by x, we could simplify it out by dividing by 350, but then I'd have to do it to the left-hand side as well. So here's the part where I need a calculator. This simplifies out to be 1x, so I don't write the 1. 88 divided by 3.5 gives me 25.14, and we'll use 2 decimal places. So if you look at this, you can kind of make sense of why these operations were the way they were. We paid a cost of $100, and we're working backwards to find the number of miles we must have been towed. So the first thing we did was subtract off that $12 flat fee, meaning 12 of that $100 was the reservation fee. That leaves $88 of the bill must have been from the cost per mile. So since I was paying $88 and it cost $3.50 per mile, that division gives me the number of miles I must have been towed. So this is in miles. So when I go to write my answer as an ordered pair is always input comma output. So as an ordered pair, it would be, my input turned out 25.14, and sometimes I even write the units right in the point, so it's miles, and the output is 100, and that is in dollars. So this is what it would look like in point notation. This is what it would look like if you used function notation. C of 25.14 equals 100, right? Because the input variable is inside and the output variable is over here. I'm supposed to interpret its meaning and again use both numbers and use a sentence. So x was 25.14. To interpret that in a sentence, if my car is towed about 25.14 miles, then the total cost of $100. Or you could say it the other way around. If your bill is $100, then you must have been towed 25.14 miles. The last one says basically take your cost function and now make one more prediction before we move on to something else. How much will it cost to tow the car 15 miles? And again, this is in dollars. So this is basically, since they're giving me a number in miles and x is the number of miles, I would simply just replace x with 15 here, and my answer would be the total cost in dollars, and I need to write a complete sentence at the end. So if you want, you can use a calculator here and say I'm getting towed 15 miles and the rate is $3.50 per mile, so I will multiply by that, and that would be the cost just for the actual per mile of towing, and then you have to add on that reservation fee of $12. So my bill comes out to be $64.50, and my output unit was in dollars, and this is total cost. So how much will it cost to tow the car 15 miles? Write your answer in a complete sentence. So if the car is towed 15 miles, it will cost exactly $64.50. I'm just going to use a dollar symbol there.